Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to a video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video, we're going to be looking at a team composition that uses the Shade and the Cultist traits, or whatever they're called in Teamfight Tactics. This is going to be taken from a normal game, and the one thing that I'll mention here from the loading screen is that we do have one Masters player in this game, the Layus the Truth. And then most of the other players are just a mixture of either unranked or I think there were some people in Platinum for whatever that counts. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the Cultist traits and the Shade traits, but we'll go through them kind of as they come along in this game. As far as the starting carousel was concerned, I went ahead and grabbed the Garen with the Chain Vest. I like grabbing an item and champion pairing that has some kind of synergy off of the initial carousel. Garen with the Chain Vest is useful because Garen is kind of a good frontline champion. He's useful in a lot of team compositions, either a Vanguard setup or a Warlord setup, both of which are pretty solid for the early game. And when he starts with the Chain Vest already, you already have an item that's pretty good on him. So that's why I went ahead and grabbed that one. As it turns out, I'm not going to end up playing Garen in this game, but I didn't know that when starting out. So go ahead and look at what we get here, and then I see, 3 Twisted Fates. Well, let's just go ahead and make Twisted Fate 3-star, or 2-star. Not Twisted Fate 3-star. That would be pretty crazy to get that off the initial shop window. If you get a chance like this to just instantly make a 2-star unit, it's usually a good idea to do so, just because 2-star units are always going to be handy to have for at least the first couple of rounds. Even if it's something that doesn't fit your team composition, you can always swap it out later. But having a Twisted Fate 2-star is going to be helpful here. And as it turns out, I'm going to end up playing into Cultists here. And that's one of Twisted Fate's 2 traits, so he's going to end up fitting this comp. Or although, in part, I probably consciously or unconsciously decided to design the rest of the comp around that. So then I see 2 Elises, and I was like, okay, well, that will give me another cultist here. Then I'll only need one other cultist, and I was looking at the list of who the cultists were there. I can see another one is Pike. What I really should do here, though, is I should sell the Tahm Kench, and I should sell the Vayne, and then I should just buy the Jarvan, because Jarvan's another keeper, and that would allow me to play the Jarvan plus the Elise, and that would make Keeper here in the early game, and that would give me another trait in play. So that's what I should have been looking to do here. And here I was looking to go ahead and pick that up, but I don't get any money there, so I have no opportunity to make that. So you can see right there, I would have been able to get the Jarvan on the last one, and then I'd have 2 out of 3 Jarvans here. But I get another Jarvan on this round, and I do manage to make Elise 2-star. But I could have had another Jarvan and almost had Jarvan 2-star here ready to go. So what does the Keeper trait do? And by the way, there's a Vanguard Garen, which is a very nice early game unit. Arguably, I should have looked to pick that up too, but I didn't have enough money for that and I wasn't going to lock for it. But yeah, arguably I should have just picked that up too and played through the Garen Vanguard chosen, which would be a very strong frontliner early in the game. So as far as what I have with terms of the Keeper, I haven't discussed this in a video, so I'll just read the trait description here. Keeper, at the start of combat, Keepers grant themselves and all nearby allies a shield for duration, and the shield is 50% stronger on Keepers. In this patch version, the Keeper shield at Keeper 2 is 175 shield, and it lasts for 8 seconds, but it's probably going to be broken before that happens. Now in this fight, this is turning into a pretty extended fight here. I was just hoping that TF would stay alive so that he would be able to get off one more cast, and he just barely gets his cast off before Maokai, and that means that I end up winning this battle. I mean, you could say it doesn't matter that much because it is like really, really early game, and winning versus losing these rounds doesn't make a huge difference, but that extra health, you never know. It could make the difference at the end game, having that extra 2 or 3 or 5 health or whatever. I've had a number of games where having a strong early game let me live just like 1 extra round at the end of the game, and then that was the difference between finishing like 6th place as opposed to 3rd place or something like that, because those end game rounds, everyone's taking 15 to 20 damage when they lose, and getting 1 more round does matter. All right, now as far as this, remember how I said at the beginning of the video we have 1 Masters player in here, the Layus the Truth? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Well, this person's already made a really strong comp. And the sad thing here is that Yasuo is at 6 HP, but got a Janna shield at 6 HP. And so, no, we're not going to kill that unit. And in fact, we're not going to kill anything because that person has already found a Zed chosen. this early in the game, and that's a very strong unit to be playing through this early on. So has the Zed chosen, and then also has Duelist in, and then grabs the Janna to make in latent trade. So that is a very, very strong team composition here at the start of the game. Now I've gone ahead and grabbed an Evelyn here. Eve will allow me to make Cultist. Need 3 Cultists for that. That would be TF plus Elise plus the Eve. And I also am thinking about grabbing the Akali here. The problem is that's going to cost me another 3 gold, and that's expensive this early in the game. So I believe I'm going to sell the Annie, and I'm hoping I can win this round so that that will get me to 10 gold. I don't want to put too much into econ. Now, at the start of this game, I did get I got extra items. I ended up with 3 items, but I really didn't get much of anything in the way of gold. So like when the games start, you can either get more gold in the form of champions or just flat out gold, or you can get more items. And I've ended up getting a start that's heavier on items, but not heavier on gold. So I have to be a little bit careful here in terms of managing my economy. I don't want to be sitting under 10 gold. So hopefully I can win this round. It's looking pretty good. Eve is getting off some nice ults here. And it looks like we should be good to win this and then get to 10 gold. And then that'll help me overcome the fact that I'm a little weak in terms of money here at the start of the game. And that's why I'm not picking up the Akali here, even though it would be useful to have an assassin. All right, so here we have another carousel. Because I had that one round where I got crushed and took 8 damage, I actually have pretty high carousel priority. So I'm looking at what's available on the carousel, and I see that a Pike is there. I was like, oh, this is perfect. Pike will give me another Cultist. Pike will be an assassin. And I already have a Chain Vest on my bench. So this Pike that starts with the Needlessly Large Rod, I can toss the Chain Vest on that, and then I will have an early Locket, and that's always a useful item in the early game, and it'll be useful throughout the whole game. It's not a great late game item by any means, but it should get me through some of these early game rounds, and that'll give me more time just to figure out what my team comp is. I still do not have a Chosen, which is kind of an issue. You really don't want to be avoiding Chosens because you're giving up a lot of power by not doing that. Then I go ahead and level there so I can get in the Pike, and I want to get full use of this Locket. So I'm going to position so that the Locket is in the middle. All 5 members of my team get a shield from that, and then my 2 keepers are in to the left and to the right of Pike so that their keeper shield is also applying to the other champions. So that's kind of our setup here. We're going to have a lot of shielding, and hopefully we can use that shielding to win some of these early game rounds. Again, this is not going to scale great throughout the late game. Those shields will, of course, fall off in power as the game goes on, but hopefully it's enough for me to win some of these early game rounds here and preserve some health, make some extra money, that sort of thing. Eve gets off another nice ultimate there. Now, the other trait I have in right now is Cultist, so let me describe what the Cultist trait does. You've probably noticed the Galio jumping in here, and that is, of course, what Cultists do. If you've played this game in Set 4 in Teamfight Tactics, you're familiar with this, but I'll read the official description. Once your team loses 50% of their health, Galio is summoned, slams into the largest cluster of enemies, and knocks them up. Galio's strength increases based on the total star level of all active cultists. So at 3 cultists, you get a Tyrant Galio. At 6 cultists, you get a Demon Lord Galio. And at 9 cultists, you get Supreme Overlord Galio. Each one is stronger. The 9 cultist Galio is really, really strong. And in this most recent patch, as I'm playing this, they patched it so that Galio at cultist 9 would get a Quicksilver Sash, because the big weakness for Galio was he was very susceptible to crowd control, because, you know, you can't put items on Galio. He's not a champion you control, so you can't put any items on him. But we're not going to see a Cultist 9 comp in this game. That's not what I'm heading into. But, you know, the Galio does help. It provides another source of damage, another source of tankiness, another source of crowd control. And Cultist in particular is a comp that tends to be pretty strong in the early game. Again, it's something that doesn't scale great into the rest of the game. And for some reason, I don't pick up the Callista here, by the way. That's really silly not picking it up. That would have helped me a ton. Callista is even a cultist, and I'm playing cultist, so it's really crazy not to pick that up. I'm not sure what exactly I was thinking in this game. I could have easily played through that and then gone into a cultist plus duelist team composition, and that would have been pretty strong. I could have played like duelist, 4, cultist 3, and then played off of that. But instead, for some reason, I don't pick it up, and like I said, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like locked into this cultist mindset, and the Callista was her chosen was on the duelist, not on the cultist, but that's not bad. That would, like I said, that would have allowed me to go into a duelist composition that I think could have been pretty strong, especially with the items that I have here. Like I've got that, I've got the recurve bow. I could have paired that with some of these other items. I could have paired that, and then I get like a BF sword. So I could have like paired the recurve bow with the Negatron cloak, and then that would have been shoot, I'm blanking on the item's name, but the item that lets them hit multiple targets at once. And that's a good item on Callista. And then I could have taken the BF sword and paired with the Giant's Belt, and then turned that into the... wow, I am really blanking on the item names today. Let me go ahead and pull up the list of items so that I can actually give you the item names here. That would have gone ahead and given me the Zeke's Herald, and the other item that I had in mind was the Runin's Hurricane, yes. But anyway, path not traveled, so we'll come back to that another time. For some reason, I think I didn't pick up on the fact that Callista is a cultist. For whatever reason, I just don't make that association. Well, anyway, so what happened there is we had the Minion Round. I did go ahead and use some items. I went ahead and made the Zeke's Herald on Pike. These are just like generic items that can be useful in pretty much any team composition. And I have been winning a lot of these rounds recently. So I went ahead and did that. I also was able to pick up the Sharpshooter Jin, because he is also a cultist, and Jin can give me another source of damage in this team composition as I continue to play towards more of these cultists. I still don't know exactly where this team composition is going to go, but my thinking right now is it's going to go into some kind of cultist, whether that's cultist 3 or cultist 6, something along those lines, and I'll look to play something on in that vein. I've also picked up the Akali. She will make the assassin trait along with Pike. She is not someone I'm planning on playing long-term in this comp because I probably am going to want Zed, and you can only play one ninja at a time. You can only play one ninja or 4 ninjas, but you don't want to play 2 or 3. So Akali is probably not going to be in here for too long. Now look who I'm up against again. It's the Laius the Truth, who is, again, the Masters player in this comp. I believe is the only person I've lost to in this game thus far. But I'm hitting them again, and once again, I'm losing, and it's not especially close in this match. Unfortunately, a couple of my champs are just short of getting an ultimate off. So is it a little bit unlucky to hit the same person twice in the first 7 rounds? A little bit unlucky, because some of these, at least one of these players, I still haven't seen even one time yet. So I've hit this one player twice and lost twice, and I haven't lost to anyone else yet. As far as other things, I'm a little disappointed I haven't found another Pike yet. Having Pike sit at 2 stars is a little bit bad because the locket gets higher value if Pike is 2 stars, so that's a bit unfortunate. Remember how I didn't grab that Jarvan early on? Well, I've been sitting with 2 out of 3 Jarvans for like the last 6 rounds. So I could have had the 2-star Jarvan this entire time. I just didn't sell the champions right at the beginning of the game. So those are some mistakes from me. But I feel pretty solid with what I have right here. 3 cultists, 2 assassins, 2 keepers, using the locket and the Zeke's Herald for some extra stuff that applies to the whole team. Now the scary thing here is this person has a Katarina with a Gunblade. And if we can kill the Katarina, we're going to win this fight easily. But the problem is that Gunblade is going to cause Kat to heal every time she gets her ultimate off. So, like, we're going to get her low here again, and Pike gets off a great stun. But Kat's going to ult, and she's going to lifesteal right back to full up again. So we unfortunately not able to beat that Warlord's team composition. Part of the issue is I was still only at level 5, but I've been, like I said, a little bit behind the curve in terms of gold the entire game as a result of not getting gold at the start. And so... like I said, it's a little bit unfortunate. I am holding a lot of gold on my bench, too, to be fair. I've got a lot of 2 out of 3 champions here. So that's gold that has not gone into making my team stronger. Now, as far as this carousel goes, I'm trying to look at what's available here. And I see that there is a Brawler's Glove. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. That will be a useful item. If nothing else, it can be Hand of Justice with the tier. It could also be a Last Whisper that I could look to put on Jin if I want to play through Jin. But I'm going to wait and see what I'm going to get here. And the TF is probably not going to be in this comp for too much longer. He is a cultist, true, but I have other cultists that are better cultists, and I wouldn't mind getting that tier off of him and onto another unit. All right, so here I find a Chosen that's going to define the rest of my game. I find an Eve Chosen with Shade as her Chosen. So this means that she will have Shade 2. So what does Shade do as an ability? So I'm going to go ahead and look to put her in. And I believe that I am going to look to drop the TF and put a Hand of Justice on her. if I remember correctly. Though I don't know if I do that right here or if I wait until a little bit later on. All right, so Eve is another cultist, so she will help me get towards Cultist 6, but her other ability is Shade, and I'm actually highlighting it here very helpfully here. Shade is similar to the Assassin trait, but it is a little bit different. I'll just read the description here. When combat starts, Shades teleport to the enemy backline. After every 3 attacks, Shades dip into the shadows, stealthing and causing their next basic attack to deal bonus magic damage. So unlike the Assassin trait, which buffs critical strike chance and critical strike damage, this Shade causes people to deal more magic damage. So it's a little bit different in that regard. Also, Eve not getting another ult off there at the end of the fight is very, very sad. I don't know if we win the fight, but it's a lot closer if she gets that off. So instead of playing through attack damage, Shade plays through magic damage instead. It's a little bit different. By the way, here I see that there's 3 Katarinas, so I'm going to go ahead and make that swap. That will allow me to get an assassin in who is not a ninja. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want to play Zed as quickly as possible. Now I just need to find Zed so I can get Shade 3 in play. So the way that this works is there's only 3 champions in the game. Oh, and here I'm transferring the tier over to Eve, and I'm going to be looking to play through Eve right now. Also, I really should have Eve getting boosted by that Zeke's, but I don't have that position in. So Shade. The Shade 2 is not a lot. Shade 2 is only 125 bonus damage, and that's why you typically don't see people playing Shade very much, because this fight's going much better, by the way. We just destroyed this poor person. So Shade, since there's only 3 Shade champions, Eve, it's Zed, who's a 2-cost unit, Eve, who's a 3-cost unit, and then Kayn, who's a 4-cost unit. Since there's only 3 Shade units, and Shade 2 isn't really that good, it's not really a trait that does a whole lot unless you can get to Kayn, and Kayn is a 5-cost unit, so he doesn't show up until the end of the game, and he's tough to find. So that's why you don't really see that much with Shade, generally speaking. But if you have a Shade chosen, then you can get Shade 2 immediately, and you get Shade 3 with just Eve plus Zed. Like I said, Shade 2 doesn't really do that much. It's only 125 damage. But Shade 3 is 400 damage, and Shade 4 is 750 damage, at least in this patch version. So the whole purpose of playing Shade is you want to, if you're going to play, if you get a Shade chosen, is you immediately play the, the Eve plus Zed, and then you just hope to find an early Kayn, and that's what it's all about. So here, I believe I'm going to drop the Keeper and go up to 5 Cultists. So if I can play one more Cultist, who am I missing here? And then I see, oh yeah, Callista, she's right there. Let's play her. And that was a lucky break. But like I said, I think I just forgot that Callista was a Cultist. All right, so I'm looking here. The item I really, really, really want on Eve is a Gunblade. That would allow her to heal herself every time she ults. It's a really good item on her, and that's the item that I most want. But unfortunately, I have not been getting too many BF swords. I did get one. Unfortunately, I've already used my BF sword to make that Zeke's early on, which was certainly a defensible decision, but would be better to have the Gunblade here for sure. Cat gets off a nice ultimate there. So why is Gunblade so good on Eve? It's because every time she ults, she's going to get all her health back again. So I kind of have the poor man's version of that in the form of the Hand of Justice. But Hand of Justice only rolls the health recovery 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, it just deals extra damage, which is not as good for this particular setup. So let's see, am I going to grab the other Callista here? I certainly should, since I'm playing Callista. But again, for whatever reason in this game, I have this blind spot when it comes to Callista. All right, I do find the Callista. Still, the fact that I only have one Pike is kind of disappointing because I'd really like to be getting full value out of that locket. And let's see, am I going to... I'm trying to remember if I go ahead and use the this item on the Jhin. Because I think I decided that I would hold for the next carousel and see what I could get here. The other thing that's hurting me is I haven't found Zed yet, and like literally have not found Zed at all. I would have played Zed if I had gotten him, but he has not shown up like the entire game, which is really unfortunate given the team composition that I'm playing. Still, these fights have been going much better since I swapped in the Evelyn Chosen or with the Shade. And if I can just toss Zed in there, I'll have Shade 3, and then it's 400. You know, it like triples the benefit for Shade. And maybe I'll get lucky and find an early Kayn as well. So that's the other thing I'm looking for here. I did pick up the Riven just because that gives me another Keeper option. Elise is a pretty terrible unit, but she's in there because she's 2-starred, and I have the Elise, and I need her for Cultist at the moment. I would certainly replace her with like a better Cultist. For instance, if I could find Zillion, I would definitely replace her with Zillion, and then that would open up an opportunity to get Mystic into the team composition somehow. But for the time being, we'll leave this alone. And now I'm finally positioning so that I'm getting advantage of the Locket Shield on Jhin, and Zeke's is on my 3 most important units, which are the Pike and the Katarina and the Evelynn. So those are my most important units right now. Aatrox is also getting some nice pulls. That's what he does. He pulls in the units. And here, we just need to kill that Akali. That's the only scary unit here, so I'm hoping Eve can get off a nice big ult. Fortunately, Eve has rolled the life recovery on this particular use of Hand of Justice. And yeah, so the Hurricane, and I see the Chalice. I was like, ooh, you know, I could build a Hurricane, or I could build a Chalice, and that would help pump up Eve. So as far as items here, there's actually an Eve with a BF sword, and I'm like, oh my god, is there any way I can get this unit? That would make Gunblade for me, and it would get me a little bit closer to Eve 3-star, which would be nice. I think I have 4 Eves at the moment, and somehow this is not being taken by the other players. BF swords are in very high priority right now. I'm like, oh man, can I actually get this item? But no. No, I can't get this item. I was like, okay. Well, in that case, since I'm not getting a BF sword, let's go ahead and make a death cap on Eve instead. We'll make the best use of what we've got, and then we'll probably need some kind of a defensive item on Eve afterwards. Like, Guardian Angel would probably be most ideal, but I'll try to make some kind of defensive item after that. With the death cap, her ult will do an absurd amount of damage, but unfortunately, she doesn't have the Gunblade for healing. And by the way, there is another Eve, so now we're up to 5. Just keep stacking them in the hopes that maybe we can get to 9 eventually, because a 3-star Eve would be fantastic. So there we go. Now Eve's ult will do like tons and tons of damage. And I was like, all right, well, Pike's just holding aura items, so we'll go ahead and make the Chalice. I think that's the best use I can get from this. Like you said, I could try to play through the Jhin, but like most of my damage is coming from... I'm planning to have most of my damage come through the Shade trait, not through Jhin. So that's the reason why I'm looking to go through that route. By the way, who are we up against again? The Laeus' Truth, our Masters player in this game, who still has not lost yet. This is the 14th round, and this player is 14-0, and as it turns out, it's not going to be close. I'm going to get destroyed and not even come close. This player is playing a Ninja's team composition. They're playing through the Zed. They have, I believe they have the Ninja chosen on Zed, and so that means that he can get the 4 Ninja straight with only 3 Ninjas. He does not need Shen. He just needs Zed plus Akali plus Kennen, and he has Ninjas 4, and he's just been playing through that, and has not lost a round yet. Ninja 4 Adept 3 already has managed to find the early Yone, which is pretty terrifying to already have a Yone this early in the game. But again, when you've won the first 14 rounds, you are incredibly rich. You're going to be a higher level than anyone else, and you just have so much money to spend. It makes the game a lot easier. I'm still in reasonably good shape here. We've had a couple players, I think, have dropped from the game. So it's kind of weird in the sense that we've had people leaving. Again, it is a normal game. Unfortunately here, my assassins are positioned on the wrong side. I needed them to go and hit Ashe and kill Ashe, but unfortunately they're on the wrong side. And Ashe, who has her own Hand of Justice, has also rolled life on hit. Eve has not rolled life on hit from her Hand of Justice. And so Ashe, even though she gets low, is able to heal right back up, and we lose that round. If my assassins had been positioned on the other side and had jumped on Ashe from the start, I think we would have won that round. Also, if we had gotten a little bit better Hand of Justice RNG, I think we also win that round. But came up a little bit short against that Brawler, Elderwood, Hunter, Ashe composition with like the random Maokai 3-star in the front of the team comp. So last couple rounds not going as well, but there's a reason for that. And the reason is, where is Zed? Why has Zed not shown up? I'm playing a Shade composition, and I absolutely must find Zed to make this composition work. And he just has not shown up, unfortunately. I'm like, what is going on? Why is he not here? Again, I'm going to go to 8 here, and now I need to roll. We need to make this comp stronger. So I see the Azir, and I'm like, oh, great. Well, that'll put Keeper back in, so we'll definitely do that. There's another Aatrox, and I find another Eve. I was like, all right, well, that's 6 Eves. We're getting closer. And now that I have, what's his name? Now that I have Azir, I do not need to hold on to Riven. And I do finally find Zed, so I was like, excellent. Yes, so we'll drop the Katarina. She's not really providing much. She is providing Assassin trait, but that wasn't doing that much. And now I need to try to position so that I can make use of Keeper's trait. I didn't quite manage to get that off, But I'm going to make the Quicksilver on Eve because she is kind of my carry right now, and I don't want her getting CC'd. Now we do have Shade 3 in. That's going to help a lot. And so hopefully we can find Kane and get Kane in for the Shade 4, along with the 6 Cultists. Unfortunately, Eve seems to be getting CC'd, even with the Quicksilver Sash. So she does the most damage, but there's not really anyone else contributing damage right now. And that's kind of an issue. Again, if she doesn't roll the extra health recovery from her Hand of Justice, it really, really hurts my team setup here. Like, I really, really badly need to have the life on hit from Hand of Justice. When she just rolls extra damage, she just dies too fast. So, like I said, that's the problem of not having that Gunblade, and missing that item is a real problem. At this point, I was thinking my comp is still not strong enough. So rather than trying to go to 9, I need to roll a bit here. I have too many 1-star units. I have 1-star Callisto, 1-star Zed, 1-star Aatrox, 1-star Pike somehow, and 1-star Jhin. So, like I said, I don't have a whole lot behind. The Eve. Now, Eve is great. Like, she does a lot of damage. I mean, she really does a lot of damage. But like I said, lacking that Gunblade, she has no way to heal herself, and she unfortunately dies too quickly in these fights. Like, if she was the idea behind what she should be doing is she should be healing back up to full every single time she ults. Like, she did 11,000 damage that fight, but she died because she doesn't have enough survivability. So like I said, not having the correct itemization really, really hurt in this game. Gunblade would have made such a huge difference. And by the way, there's more Callistas. Arguably should have held on to them trying to make 3-star, but the only unit I was really trying to 3-star right now was the Eve. And here I finally find Kane. So I'm going to take the Azir out. That means I do lose Keeper, but Shade, and now I have another unit to play through, and that's important because I need another source of damage. I can't have Eve being literally 100% of the team, so I'm going to look to try to play through Kane now as another source of damage, and this is also going to give me the extra Shade damage. So now every time the Shade units get off that ability, it's going to deal 750 damage. Let's see. Note that Eve looks like she has rolled. Yeah, Eve has rolled life on hit this round, and so look what a big difference this is going to make. So she ults, and now she's back to full health again, and she's going to die, right? Nope, she's going to ult right back to full health again, and ult right back to full health again. So yeah, you could see if I'd had the Gunblade, this might have been a different result in some of these fights here. So it's a little bit sad that she doesn't have that Gunblade. Okay, another carousel. We are getting down to some of the final rounds here. I can probably lose one, or I can definitely lose one more round, maybe lose 2 more rounds before this is over. And I'm looking at the items here, and I was like, all right, let's grab Blue Buff. I know that Blue Buff is a good item on Kane. I've randomly made Titan's Resolve on him for his first item because that was just all that I had in terms of items, and I wanted to give him something. But Blue is legitimately a good item on him. Blue will allow him to cast much faster, get his ults off more often, and just be an all-around stronger unit. So I'm going to go ahead and toss that on him. And let's see. And now I'm thinking about which one of the 2 Canes I want to play. So you have the option between Blue Cane and Red Cane. Blue Cane, Cane will heal for some of the damage he deals. Red Cane, Cane will deal more damage in the first 10 seconds of the fight. I honestly don't know which one of those is better. I believe that I end up going with Blue Cane in this fight, in this game. I don't think that that's necessarily the right move, though. I think arguably I should have gone for the Red Cane because most of these fights are decided in the first 10 seconds anyway. So that was probably a mistake, even though I haven't even picked that out yet, but I'm telling you where I'm going to go. This is one of the players that's low on health, so I'm hoping that I can finish this person off. This person's playing through Akali, so as long as I can kill the Akali, I'm going to win. Fortunately, we do. And can we knock this player out? No, not quite. Down to 2 HP. But there's not too much left. Not too many more rounds left to go. And I have managed to make that Shade 4, and I do have the Cultist 6. What I would love to do is to get to level 9, and then be able to play Azir as well, because that would put Keeper back in, and Azir would just be another really strong unit. But it is, I mean, there's not many rounds left, and it's probably better to get a little bit stronger at 8 before committing to trying to go to 9, which again is more expensive in set 6, or set 6. In set, here I am rolling, and here I managed to make the Jhin 2-star, and that's a nice find too. Here in set 4, it is more expensive to get to level 9. It used to cost like 64 experience, something like that. But now it costs 80, and that's a big commitment at the end of the game. Because, like, if I lose 2 rounds, I'm out of the game. So I'm just continuing to roll here. I'm going to stay where I am for right now. But, like, if I could somehow get Eve to 3 stars, boy, that would make such a huge difference for me. So here we are up against the Masters player again, the Laius' Truth, the only person I haven't beaten in this game. I'm pretty confident I've beaten every other team comp at least once. But this fight's looking a lot better overall. Like, we managed to get through his carries. If I can just deal with the Zed somehow. And Eve has rolled extra life on hit, but unfortunately, Zed gets off a crit or something and finishes her off right before she can ult. She did not manage to kill the Zed, unfortunately. So still playing through that Zed chosen. And the one comp I just cannot beat in this game is that other player. So now I have the option to pick between blue Kayn or red Kayn. You get this after, I believe, 3 rounds of combat with Kayn in the game. And I didn't even see that at the... It took me a minute to spot that was there. As far as the item, I've got a Gargoyle Stone Plate. Again, not a great item. Doesn't really fit the comp I'm going for here. It's like a general tanky item. I'm going to toss that on Kayn just so I can make use of something. Oh, there I apparently tried to put the red item on him, and it just popped off for some reason. I'm not sure why that happened. A little bit weird that happened. Maybe the game thought I was clicking on a different unit. But I do get a Nico's help here, and that's a really, really nice pickup, because that means if I can just find, what, 2 more Eves, if I can just find 1 more Eve, then I'll be good to go. And I find another Azir, which is great, and then I find 3-star Azir, or 2-star Azir. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to play that over the Zed. It's that or drop the Cultist, but I want to hold on to the Cultist. So we'll drop the Zed. That goes down to Shade 3, but I have to believe that it's better to go ahead and get this. And oh, there's another Eve! There we go! Nico that! There we go. And then I drop the blue item on Kayn. As I said, in retrospect, I think this is a mistake. I think I should have gone for red Kayn in this game. And then we'll just put the Gargoyle Stone Plate on Kayn, because why not? I think the fights just generally don't last long enough to have it matter that you have the blue Kayn. But hey, now that we've got Eve 3-star and we've got the 2-star, or we've got the 2-star Azir in there, suddenly we're like legitimately quite strong. And fortunately coming just in time, because as I said, I really probably can only lose at most 1 more round. I certainly can't lose 2 more rounds. But the problem is I can't get the Zed in unless I get to level 9. So now I'm going to save and go to 9, because at this point there's not really any need to roll. Like I've 2-starred basically everything. The only thing that's not 2-star is Kayn. And I have better odds to find a 2-star Kayn if I can get to level 9. So I'm going to try to reposition to make use of the Keeper trait. I want to have that shield applying to more people. And I should probably move the Sand Soldiers next to the Azir so that they also get the Keeper trait. They can benefit from it, but I'm trying to take advantage of this and make use of the Locket Shield and the Chalice and the, what's the other item? And the Zeeks. So now we're up against Old Dirty Omelet. If I win this battle, I will eliminate him. And oh man, that Eve ult. Oh, the Eve 3-star. Oh my goodness, does she do a lot of damage. Like when she ults and hits the enemy team, she just cuts right through them, even without a Gunblade. But like, does she really need it? It's not clear. Oh, there we go. Just needed to pop off it. Yeah, 14,000 damage. So that knocks out Old Dirty Omelet, and now we're top 3 in this game. And that's a relief. So now it's just down to the 3 of us right here. So what does Eve do with her ult? I'll just read the description while we have a minute here. Last Caress. Eve deals magic damage to up to 3 nearby enemies, then teleports away. This damage is increased against targets below 50% health. So she does have basically an execute. The damage is 350 at 1-star, 500 at 2-star, and then 1400 at 3-star. Oh my goodness. So the damage basically triples when she goes to 3-star. And that's why now that that's happened, she just has been popping off. So we're up against the Laius, the Truth, and I was like, all right, now I can finally beat this guy, right? It's like, actually no, because you know what? He just hit Zed 3-star and Akali 3-star. I was like, okay. That's not a good sign that he just 3-starred his carries. But if we can manage to kill the Zed, and oh, there we go! Eve rolling life on hit once again, and that's what we need. We just need to ult that Zed, so hey, now that I've got the 3-star version of this, I'm looking pretty good here. And so now we've got more items, and on this carousel, I see I have the option for a Thief's Glove, and I'm like, well, that's going to be more useful than anything else right now. I will just go ahead and look to toss that. What I'd really like to do is get another Kayn, and then have that item pop off, because this does give me 2 out of 3 Kayns, but with so few rounds left in the game, I want to make that use of that Thief's Glove, so I am in fact going to sell the Kayn, as sad as this is. As much as I would like to hold on to that, I'm going to look to sell the Kayn, and then put that Thief's Glove on one of my other champions, because there's just so few rounds left in the game right now, and it also gives me more gold to get towards level 9, where I can put Zed back in and get back up to Shade 4. Here I'm looking at the other comp, Sad Asian Lad, who I know I'm pretty confident I'm going to be up against Sad Asian Lad. And wait, did I actually not sell this item? I thought that I did here. Oh, maybe I did wait another round. I guess I waited to use it. I think I was looking to see if I needed to reposition. I was trying to get to a position where Eve would jump right on top of Ash, and fortunately she does. Ash dies instantly at the start of the fight. That's what we need. As soon as the Ash dies, we're good to go. So I was positioning Eve so that she would be able to jump on top of Ash. And even though Eve has not rolled life on hit in this round, we should be good to go because we killed his carry right at the start of the fight, and he can't win without that. Now, it is a ghost round. By the way, Eve does 27,000 damage. So now it's just down to me and the Layest the Truth, who I did beat on the last round. All right, so let's go up now to level 9. Get Zed in. There we go. And we probably only have 1 or 2 more rounds. And at this point, I was like, all right, the game is so close. There's maybe 1 or 2 more rounds left. I will now sell the cane, which is what I remembered, and look to go for this. I'm like, all right, great. We're good to go here. Now we can finally beat this guy. We won the last time we played this person. And now we just need another one of those rounds. So I'm really, really hoping that Eve will roll life on hit once again on the Hand of Justice instead of extra damage. So let's see what she's managed to get on this particular round. Looks like she did not roll life on hit, unfortunately, which means that she will not be healing. And so even though she gets off a ton of damage, she doesn't heal from it. And yep, if she had rolled life on hit, we would have won that round because she would have gone back to full health after ulting. So sadly, as close as this match has been, a lot of it is coming down to, does Eve roll the life on hit on her Hand of Justice, or does she just roll extra damage? The extra damage is unneeded. Like, she's one-shotting units anyway. She doesn't need 50% more damage. She just needs to be able to heal when she ults. And unfortunately, she did not roll it in that particular round. So it's going to come down to 1 more round here. This will be round 7, so if I win decisively, I can kill this person with 1 hit. Like, it is very possible to do 25 damage in 1 round. And here I'm just going to get, what is this? Static Shiv, but that's not going to be useful here. And there is a Kane. I was like, oh, can I actually get the Kane 2-star? I was like, oh, Kane 2-star! Oh my god, I got the Kane 2-star anyway! So I don't really have someone to put this on. I just tossed it on Aatrox. Probably should go on Callista. She's a better user of it. Right now I'm trying to position such that the other player will not be jumping on top of my key units. But I should have remembered something, which is that if you're up against someone who's playing Assassins, put all your units at the front, not at the back. I should have repositioned to put my units up front just to buy a couple extra seconds in this fight. All right, so once again, is Eve going to roll life on hit, or is she going to roll extra damage? Which is it going to be? And let's see, where is she? Unfortunately, it is extra damage, and that's not good because it means she doesn't heal. So even though she is doing insane damage, she's not healing, and yeah, that's going to do it. So unfortunately, not able to win that round. I did beat that person 1 time, but unfortunately, I lost the other 5 times I hit that comp. Just couldn't overcome that person. And let's be fair, that was a Kali 3-star, and Kennen 3-star, and Zed 3-star, along with a Yone 2-star. So that was a really strong comp on the other side, too. If that person had a little bit less luck hitting their 3-stars, which again is kind of luck-based, like if that had been like a 2-star Akali and a 2-star Kennen, I think I win that match. But not to be. The tale of not finding Gunblade on Eve. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Fun for me to show off a different team composition. Until next time, have a great week. I'll see you guys soon.